Welcome to the Global Impact Podcast. I'm your host, Ali Mehdaoui. This show is about something that affects every community, every family, and every generation, mental health. But we don't approach it with fear. We approach it with awareness, compassion, education, and solutions. Because the truth is this, mental health challenges are not rare. They are not signs of weakness. They are part of the human experience. According to the National Alliance of Mental Health Illness, nearly 1 in 5 adults in the United States experience a mental health condition every year. And globally, the World Health Organization estimates more than 970 million people are living with a mental health disorder. Yet, millions of people still suffer silently. Why? Because stigma still exists. Because people don't know where to turn. Because sometimes the hardest thing to do is simply say, I need help. Today's episode is about breaking that silence. We're going to talk about self-harm awareness, healthy coping skills, emotional triggers, substance abuse and emotional avoidance, therapy as prevention, the science of happiness. Yes, it is a science, and how to build real resilience. And most importantly, we're going to talk about how healing is possible. Let's begin. Segment 1, self-harm awareness. Self-harm is one of the most misunderstood mental health challenges. It is often judged, it is often hidden, and it is almost always a signal of deep emotional pain. Self-harm is not attention-seeking, it is pain-seeking release. The CDC reports that millions of people engage in non-suicidal self-injury, especially among teenagers and young adults. People may cut, burn, and harm themselves because it creates temporary emotional relief. Why? Because physical pain can momentarily distract from emotional suffering. But the underlying issues are often things like trauma, depression, anxiety, overwhelming emotional distress, or feeling completely alone. Awareness saves lives because when people understand the signs, they can intervene with compassion instead of judgment. Signs may include unexplained cuts or scars, wearing long sleeves even in warm weather, isolation from friends or family, sudden emotional withdrawal. The most powerful tool we have is compassion, not interrogation, not criticism, compassion. Sometimes the most healing sentence someone can hear is, I am here for you. And if someone is struggling right now, confidential professional support is available. Visit globalimpactwellness.com because no one should face emotional pain alone. Segment 2, healthy coping skills. Every human being develops coping mechanisms, but not all coping mechanisms heal. Some numb, some avoid, some actually make things worse over time. Healthy coping skills regulate emotions. Unhealthy coping skills suppress them. Research from the American Psychological Association shows that people who develop healthy coping strategies experience lower stress levels, better emotional regulation, improved physical health, and stronger relationships. Healthy coping skills include physical exercise, meditation, therapy or counseling, journaling, breathing techniques, talking with trusted friends or even mentors. These tools help the nervous system return to balance and stability because emotional pain is not something we defeat through suppression. We heal through processing. Learning healthy coping skills can literally change the chemistry of the brain. Neuroscience shows that consistent emotional regulation practices can strengthen the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for decision making, emotional control, and resilience. If you want to explore healthy coping strategies that work for real life situations, visit globalimpactwellness.com because coping should help you heal, not hide. Segment 3, managing emotional triggers. Triggers are powerful. They can instantly transport someone back into a painful memory or emotional experience. But triggers are not failures. They are signals that the brain is trying to protect us. Trauma researchers explain that triggers occur when the brain associates a current situation with a past emotional threat. It could be a sound, a place, a phrase, a smell, or even a certain type of conflict. Suddenly, the brain activates the flight or fight or freeze response. Heart rate increases, stress hormones spike, and emotional reactions feel overwhelming. But here's the empowering truth. Triggers can be managed. When individuals learn to recognize these triggers, they gain something powerful, control. And therapeutic methods like cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT and trauma informed therapy help individuals by identifying triggers, understanding their origin, developing regulation techniques. The goal isn't to eliminate emotional memories. The goal is to reduce their power. Self-awareness becomes emotional freedom. And if you want to explore professional support for managing emotional triggers, visit globalimpactwellness.com because understanding your emotions gives you the control back. Segment 4. Substance use and emotional avoidance. Addiction rarely begins with a desire for destruction. It often begins with a desire for relief. Substance use frequently starts as an attempt to escape emotional pain, stress, trauma, loneliness, depression. According to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, nearly 21 million Americans struggle with substance use disorder. But addiction is not simply about substances. It's about unprocessed emotional pain. Many individuals turn to substance abuse and they temporarily numb anxiety or sadness, but the brain quickly adapts. Tolerance develops, and what began as relief becomes dependence. Real recovery addresses the root causes, not just the behavior. Modern treatment approaches focus on therapy and counseling, trauma resolution, mental health support, community support networks, because addiction recovery is not just about stopping a substance, it's about healing the person underneath the pain. If you or someone you know is struggling with substance use or addiction, recovery support is available. Visit globalimpactwellness.com. Healing begins when we address the roots. Segment 5, therapy as prevention. One of the biggest misconceptions about therapy is that it's only for crisis situations. But therapy is not just treatment, it's prevention. Think of therapy the way we think about physical health. We don't wait for a heart attack before we care about our heart, we maintain it. Mental health works the same exact way. Therapy provides tools for emotional clarity, stress management, conflict resolution, self-awareness, relationship growth. Studies from Harvard Medical School show that people who engage in therapy often develop stronger coping skills and experience lower long-term anxiety and depression levels. Therapy strengthens emotional muscles. It helps people navigate life challenges before they escalate into crisis. And the reality is this: seeking therapy is not a weakness. I go to therapy twice a week. It is emotional intelligence. If you're interested in professional therapy sessions, whether virtual or in person, visit globalimpactwellness.com because mental wellness is proactive care. Segment 6, understanding happiness. So happiness is one of the most misunderstood emotional concepts. Many people believe happiness means constant joy, but psychologists define happiness differently. True happiness is emotional stability and life satisfaction. Research from the World Happiness Report shows that long-term happiness is influenced by 5 key factors: stronger social relationships, physical and mental health, financial stability, purpose and meaning, trust within communities. Happiness is not a permanent emotional high. It's a foundation of balance and purpose. That is why mental wellness is directly tied to happiness. When emotional health improves, relationships improve, physical health improves, productivity improves, life satisfaction increases. Happiness is not something that we chase, it is something that we build. If you want to build sustainable emotional wellness, visit globalimpactwellness.com because happiness is not luck. It's alignment. Segment 7, building resilience. Resilience is often misunderstood as toughness, but resilience isn't about being unbreakable. It is about recovering after you bend. Psychologists describe resilience as the ability to adapt and bounce back after adversity. And resilience is not something people are born with. It is something people learn. Resilient individuals tend to develop emotional awareness, healthy coping mechanism, strong support systems, a sense of purpose. Studies from the American Psychological Association show that resilient individuals experience lower long-term stress, improved mental health outcomes, greater life satisfaction. Resilience doesn't mean life becomes easy. It means you become stronger at navigating it. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to grow. And resilience is something anyone can develop with the right support. If you want to strengthen your emotional resilience, visit globalimpactwellness.com, because resilience is not about avoiding hardship. It's about learning how to rise again. In closing, mental health is not a side conversation. It is a global conversation. Every family, every workplace, every community is touched by emotional wellness. And the more we talk about it openly, the more lives we save. If you or someone you love is struggling, remember this: you are not alone. Support does exist. Healing is possible. Visit globalimpactwellness.com for confidential support, therapy sessions, and mental awareness resources. If this episode helped you, share it with someone who needs it, because awareness creates change and compassion creates healing. I'm Ali Mehdaoui. This is the Global Impact Podcast, and together we make a global impact.
At Global Impact Wellness Group, we believe healthcare should be accessible, affordable, and compassionate. Welcome to Global Impact Wellness Group, a trusted provider of nationwide telehealth services. We are a licensed mental health organization dedicated to the care, rehabilitation, and well-being of children, adolescents, adults, and families. Our virtual care platform brings mental health counseling, urgent care, primary care, telepsychiatry, and even pet telemedicine directly to your home. All sessions are secure, confidential, and fully HIPAA compliant. Why choose us? Nationwide access, affordable monthly plans with no hidden fees, and a holistic approach to mental, physical, and emotional wellness for individuals, families, and even pets. Get the care you deserve, anywhere, anytime. Visit globalimpactwellness.com today.